Hey y'all, I'm Paula Deen and I'm delighted that you're here today because I'm going to show the guys what the lady can do behind the barbecue. Now nothing goes better on the grill than Vidalias, so we're going to run and pick some up. And then it's back to the house where I'm going to show you just what to do with the king of onions on a Saturday night. Then after we get our taters baking on the side, I'm going to show you this bold but basic bourbon beef tenderloin. And finally, I've got a warm apple and goat cheese salad coming that'll just cap off your meal. So stand back, fellas. The lady's stepping up to the flame. One of the grand things about living in Savannah is our beautiful weather. We grill year-round. While other people are freezing, we're basking in the sun. And we do a lot of barbecuing. And I wouldn't think about starting my barbecue grill today without first seeing my friend Dilbert and his father Ray at Bland Farm. Hey, Dilbert.
Hey, Paula, how are you today?
I'm fine. Good to see you again.
Good.
Hi.
You know my father?
No, I don't. This is not the famous Raymond, is
That's him. That's the patriarch of the whole bunch. Yes.
Well, you're our hero here, Raymond. Well, what are you doing?
Well, we got a few Vidalia onions here. We thought you were coming, so we got them out for you and got them ready for you. They're
great.
Beautiful. They're very sweet.
They are
You
pretty.
will enjoy them.
Delbert, I've been a fan of your onions for years, but I have come here today to find out the difference between a Vidalia and the regular onions that we get in the store.
Oh, that's simple, Paula. The difference between a Vidalia and a regular onion is the Vidalias only make you cry when they're gone.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yes, there's a lot of truth in that, though. You know, normal onions burn your throat to give you heartburn. Man, Vidalias, they go down so smooth you don't even know you eat any of them.
And why is that?
Well, it's a combination of several things. It's the low sulfur content in our soil here, and it's also the low sulfur content in our surface water that we use to irrigate the crops with. And then plus the ozone layer has a special layer to it here that's heaves to the sweetness of the onion, and we never really figured it out, but we didn't spend a lot of time worrying about it. We just make them and sell them.
When I'm standing in front of the onion bin at the grocery store, how do I tell whether I'm looking at a Vidalia onion or not?
Well, the first indication would be all of our onions that we ship, we put a little signature on it that says Vidalia Sweet Onions from Bland Farms. And it also has got the 1-800-VIDALIA number, so you can call and make sure you are buying Vidalias. So decals are a good way of showing and identifying this onion, because on the surface, this onion actually looks like a lot of other onions. The big difference is the way it tastes. It has more sugar content than an orange, actually.
Really?
Yes, yes. And you'd be surprised how many people's misled, because, you know, everybody's trying to market a sweet onion now. You see them everywhere. But in reality, there's nothing like a Vidalia.
What is the best way to store an onion when they're out of season?
If you have room in your refrigerator, ideal way is to wrap each one of them in newspaper, and that creates it keeps the humidity out of them, and put them in the bottom of your refrigerator. But if room does not permit that, you can actually take this onion, believe it or not, and you put it in a pantyhose, and you tie a knot in between each one of them, and not let them touch, and hang that in a dry place like in your basement or whatever, and you would be amazed at how long they would keep.
That's how I used to store mine. I would tie a knot in between them, and when I needed one, I'd go get my scissors and cut that one off, and then keep going until they were all gone.
Yes, it's really neat.
How can you tell the freshest onions in the bin?
What you look for in an onion, opposite to a strawberry or whatever, is you look for a firm onion that is completely dry, and make sure that the stem is dry and you don't have any moisture in there, because that's where a lot of your moisture and decay comes into the onion, is through the stem. But if it's a good dry stem, dry feeling, more than likely you have a good product there.
If you don't mind, I'm ready to be loaded up because I got some cooking to do.
Honey, you got the money, we got the time. We're ready to load you up.
This recipe brings back so many fond memories for me. When I was a young bride, years and years and years ago, we used to cook these every Saturday night, so that's why I named them Saturday Night Vidalia Onions. When I was a young woman, we only went out to eat on special occasions. In fact, standing here thinking about it, I only remember our town having 3 restaurants. It certainly wasn't the way it is today, and we were so poor. there was about 3 or 4 of us young couples, and we really had to struggle. And we would save our pennies all week, and then on Saturday night we'd all get together, walk in with our meat that we just treasured so that we had worked hard to buy, and we would all sit down to a glorious meal every Saturday night, and it always included one of these onions. One of the ways you can cut down on it burning your eyes is to peel it underneath the water. An old trick that I used to use years ago, taking a wooden match and sticking it in my mouth and just chewing on the wooden stem, and the sulfur took away the odor of the onion. Now we've got him peeled, and I'm taking just a regular apple core and just turn him down into the center of our onion. And we're making a little nest here because we're going to be sticking a beef bouillon cube down in there. So this will just make it a little bit easier. Now we're going to take our onion and we're going to quarter him. And we're not going all the way down to the root because you don't want him to bust open. See, there's enough room now for us to get the butter in between our quarters and get our beef bouillon down in there. We're going to start with just a bouillon cube. We're going to drop him in there, and then we're going to take our butter and put in between each slice of the onion. And you won't believe how wonderful this dish is. When you bowl it up, if it had cheese on it and French bread in it, you would think that you were having French onion soup. And then what butter we couldn't get in there, we're just going to frost the top of the onion. All we do now is double wrap our onion with a heavy-duty aluminum foil. You don't want to use a lightweight because as you're turning them on your coals with the tongs, you just might bust the foil and then you'd lose all your juice. And your juice is what really makes this onion. So we're going to seal him up as tight as we can because we don't want to lose a drop. In case your barbecue gets rained out, these are terrific cooked in the oven. So it's ready for the grill. Now what goes good on the grill with onions is potatoes. It's really hard to improve a potato. All we're going to do is take our baking potato, wash it, prick it with a fork. But because our potatoes are not as big as our onions, we're going to be able to take our piece of foil and double it, and we're going to secure this like we did our onion. But because there's no juice in the potato, it'll be completely safe. Now I've always heard that when you're using tin foil to cook on the grill with it, you should always put the shiny side in that has something to do with reflecting the heat into the food. So that's what we've done. And these babies are ready for the heat. I've got my potatoes and onions ready to go on the grill. Now if we were cooking with charcoal, you would want to nestle these potatoes down in the hot coals. But because we've got such a great grill that we can really get the temperature high on today, I'm just going to lay them right here on the grate. And you can tell the difference because your onions are round and your potatoes are oblong. And they would both cook about the same length of time, so you would put all this on at the same time. We're looking at about 45 minutes if they're on hot coals. And when we get through, you're not going to believe the French onion soup flavor that you're going to get with those onions. And in a few minutes, we'll finish them up and I'll show you. I so hope y'all are enjoying the show. And if you do, be sure to click like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you'll never miss a video. And we'll be right back after the break. Welcome back, y'all. While my onions and potatoes are still cooking, we're going to start by making our marinade today. We're going to need about a half a cup of lemon juice, and that should have us about there. Now, it doesn't matter what sequence you put this together because it's all just going in the bowl. We'll start with our lemon juice and our water, soy sauce, brown sugar, fresh parsley, and I think I'm going to put a few snips of thyme in there. A tablespoon of Worcestershire, And the guest of honor, about a cup of bourbon. Rumor has it that if you're in Augusta, they're gonna ask you what your daddy does. If you're in Macon, they're gonna ask you where you go to church. But when you're in Savannah, we just gonna ask you what you want to drink. And I'm not gonna worry about that today because I'm gonna put it to them in the meat. We're just gonna mix all that up, just like that. And look at this mouth-watering beef tenderloin that I have. I'm gonna just finish tying this up. And it's real easy. You can kind of get your own method, but this is a real easy one right here. Just wrap your string over and looping back through there. And this will just help secure that your meat doesn't fall apart on the grill for you. Because sometimes this can have a tendency after you take the silver off to come apart on you. And this way we know we're not gonna lose a drop of him. All we're gonna do now is pour the marinade over him, and we're gonna put him in the refrigerator and let him marinate. It's hard to believe that you can improve the flavor of a tenderloin, but this is the bourbon and the sugar and all is gonna just give him such a unique flavor that you're not used to eating when you serve tenderloin. I got this recipe from my cousin Kelly. She does a lot of entertaining. She's a young working mother. She's a career girl and has so many things on her plate. And she has found that this is a very easy dish for her to serve and very palate pleasing at the same time. So we're just gonna cover this and put it in the refrigerator and let him soak up all those flavors.
And while that's marinating, let's see if our onions and potatoes are done.
And I think they are. Can you hear the sizzle? Oh, and they're nice and soft. And our onions are nice and soft too. Yes, this is how you tell. See all the juice? That's the beef bouillon in the butter coming out to make that wonderful juice. And it looks just like a onion soup, doesn't it? I don't want to lose any of that juice, so I'm going to do this very carefully. And you always want to serve your onions in a bowl because of all the wonderful onion and beef stock. Look at that. It'll make you sass your mama. All right, let's take a look at our potatoes. Now, some people like to leave their potatoes in the tin foil because it'll keep them hot. But I like to take mine out, so that's what I'm gonna do. And these are so hot, I think I'm gonna have to resort to using my extra fingers. I love potatoes. Potatoes are probably my favorite food. There's so many things that you can do with a potato. You can fry it, you can cream it, you can boil it. And it's really hard to improve on a baked potato, but there's just something about a potato that's cooked on the grill. It's unbelievably divine. It gets like a cream potato in the center. All this needs is a little sour cream, a little green onions. How delicious does that look? I get so excited when I'm serving potatoes. A little salt, a little fresh ground pepper, and it just don't get no better than that. Now, what do you want with onions and taters? A big, fat, juicy piece of meat.
Our tenderloin is now ready for the grill.
Now, you can marinate this anywhere from 4 to 6 hours to overnight. Oh, wow, hear it. I'm gonna have some happy eaters tonight. The beauty of this dish is we're looking at 25 minutes. That's for a medium rare now. So all we have to do is rotate him on the grill and then he's ready to eat. The perfect salad for this would be a warm apple and goat cheese. So stick around, that's up next.
I hope y'all are enjoying the show, and I want to hear from you. Tell me what recipes or videos you'd like to see me make by just leaving a short comment below. Now, let's get back to the show, y'all. Before we get started on our salad, let's just check on the beef.
Let's take a peek and see how he's looking. He's doing real well. And we're just gonna keep turning him until he's a nice glazy brown. And I know you probably can't see over in here, but I'm cooking with a gas grill today. Now, if you're doing this with charcoal, remember you will want to have your fire just right when you're doing this. You don't ever wanna start cooking your meat when you're have black charcoals. You want them to be an ashy gray with a glowing red inside of them. That'll give you a perfect flame.
That's going good, so let's move on to our
Warm apple goat cheese salad. And it's a very, very nice dish. And once again, it'll look like you went to a lot of trouble, but you really haven't. So we're going to take our apple and we're going to slice it very thin. I use about 4 of them per salad. You'll want to fan them out. Top them with your goat cheese. I prefer the Granny Smith apple because it's probably one of the crispest of the apples. Plus it has that wonderful tart flavor. And as you can see, in keeping with the rest of the meal, the salad looks complicated, but it's really not. Now this is ready to go in the oven. We're gonna heat it for just 2 to 3 minutes, just long enough for our goat cheese to brown and start melting a little. While our goat cheese and our apples are getting warm, I'm gonna move on to our lettuce. It's clean and sitting over here waiting on us. And the presentation to this is really, really pretty. All you have to do is take your endive and break it off at the stem. I love this lettuce. Now you can use as much of this as you like. I like working in odd numbers, so I think I'm gonna stick with the 5. We're just gonna take our fresh watercress and just clump it in the center of our plate. Isn't that pretty? It looks like a star. All we have to do now is dress our salad. We're gonna start with 2 tablespoons of a raspberry vinegar, about a 1/2 teaspoon of Dijon mustard, fresh parsley, fresh minced garlic, a pinch of salt, a little pepper, our olive oil. We're gonna seal it up good, and just to make sure it doesn't spray out over me, I'm gonna cover this top with a rag and just give it a few shakes. And remember, when you're making your salad dressings, don't skimp on your olive oil. Always start with a good extra virgin olive oil. See that pretty color? And I think that our goat cheese and apple should be ready. Our goat cheese is nice and brown, and all we're gonna do now is lift it off and place it in the center of our watercress. Drizzle it with our vinaigrette. Add just a few crushed walnuts, and that completes it. You can see how simple that was, but yet very pretty. Now that we're done with that, we're gonna go back outside
and take our tenderloin off the grill. It should be ready.
Our 25 minutes is up. I stuck a temperature probe in it a few minutes ago, so now I'm ready to check it. And it looks just like it's at the correct temperature. It's between 120 and 130, which is a little under medium rare temperature, but I'm gonna let this rest so it will continue to cook a little bit more. And remember the string that I was tying it up with? Now I'm gonna take it and just snip it off. Just like so, because you don't want your guest eating rope. I have another delicious recipe for tenderloin. It's stuffed with a duxelle sauce. You can stuff these with anything. In fact, it would be divine stuffed with blue cheese. So let's see what we have. A perfect medium rare.
When we come back,
I'm going to share with you some tips that's going to make your barbecue easier.
I so hope y'all are enjoying the show. And if you do, be sure to click like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you'll never miss a video. And we'll be right back after the break.
I'd like to leave you with a couple of good tips today. When you're barbecuing on your grill outside, always keep you a bottle of water, fresh, clean water, so that you can shoot the flare-ups because you don't want your meat to burn. Another quick and easy dessert to finish up your barbecue meal with is grilled peaches. Or if peaches are not in season, you can use pineapples. All you have to do is seed your peaches, cut them in 2, brush them with a little oil, put them on your grill, grill them, and top them with ice cream. How delicious does that sound? I hope when you try these menus at home that you'll love them as much as I do. The bourbon beef tenderloin, the warm apple and goat cheese salad, the Saturday night Vidalia onion, and this great baked potato that's been cooked on the grill. So until next time, America, best dishes from my grill to yours.
Hey y'all, it's Paula Deen. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell to be alerted when I post a video. Love and best dishes, y'all.